All right, welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of Bears Film Room. My name is Dave, joined by Ficky. We're going to cover the Bears-Eagles preview show on this Wednesday morning, which is very, very odd. We don't have a Wednesday morning show typically. It's just that type of week where we're going to go ahead and kind of get this one ready for Friday. So you guys are going to be traveling. Everyone's going to be ready for the holidays. So hopefully you can enjoy this one wherever or however you're listening. Fick, before we hop into this preview, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. A slower day at the office today, so getting ready for the holiday season. Also, Thanksgiving, got 3 football games. I can't remember all the games they're playing, but you got a big one with Detroit and Green Bay tomorrow, which should be fun. Have some friends going to that one. So, look, it's a holiday season, so I'm in a good mood. We got a big game, which we'll obviously get into here. Bears 8-3. It's just a great time to be alive. What else can you say? But how about you? How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing really good. First of all, it's Thanksgiving. This is my favorite part of the year. The holidays, Thanksgiving, right? Christmas. We're putting up the tree, hanging up the lights on the house here shortly. It's going to be a fun weekend. Also, shout out to Spider Visuals. If you guys don't know, Fick, I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I do.
On Instagram and on Twitter. His stuff, I think he's the personal photographer, personal shooter, which I love that tag, personal shooter for Tyreek Stevenson.
That's correct.
His content, give him a follow on Twitter, especially Instagram and TikTok. He has awesome stuff. But yeah, shout out to him. But I'm feeling good, man. Like I said, it's the best time of the year. The Bears are playing a game here where I've seen the comparison, and I almost said it last week when we kind of previewed after our instant reaction pod for the win over the Steelers.
Yeah.
This feels like the Bears and Rams in 2018. 2 different teams. Obviously, the Rams were high-flying, high-powered offense, and then we had our defense that really carried, obviously won us that game back in 2018. But the theme of it, or the feel of like a big game, kind of I don't think a lot of people are giving it a chance. Actually, I think it was on Good Morning Football or ESPN. It was like all, when they do the takes, it was all Eagles. And so for me, it feels very similar to that game in 2018 where we don't really have a shot from the national side. But if you win it, it's a real statement. Now, of course, we didn't do anything with that. But this year is different with Caleb Williams than Mitch Trubisky. Our defense, I think, is really, really good at getting the ball, right? Turnovers, but they're not nearly as consistent as the 2018 team, just due to the injuries. But it looks like Jalen Johnson's coming back, probably Kyler Gordon. We'll get to that in a little bit. But do you kind of feel that same way in regards to viewing this as the 2018 Rams game?
Yeah, because the impact of this game isn't just like a win or loss on the record. You know what I mean? Like, obviously that's important, but it's about really telling yourself, the team, are we what we really think we are, or are we, as people would say, frauds? I don't think I'm not going that far in the extremity, like either they're contenders or frauds, but you get what I'm saying. We're like, this is your real big test, right? This is the final. You've been studying all year for your class. This is the final that you're ready to be like, all right, can I pass this or not? And that will determine how you feel about your team and confidence moving forward. So if they lose, the season's not over, right? This is a really good team we're going against, and we'll go into that. But if they win, I think it weighs much more than what a loss would, because you're now beating the Super Bowl, the previous Super Bowl champs. And the whole talk about this whole season has been like, well, it's the team you play in front of you. None of them have been really good. Last week was the first time the Bears played a team that was better than 500 and beat them, right? So this would be a huge win. And then not only that, not only from a confidence standpoint, the locker room, which is important, but also from the standing standpoint, because now you go to 9-3 and the Eagles go to 8-4, and now you're second in the NFC with the chance to still, possibly, you could, who knows, get first in the NFC, even though I think the Rams kind of have that locked in. But there's a lot of variables, a lot of important factors here, a lot of questions that will be answered when it comes to this game. And yes, I agree with you completely. It is just as big as that 2018 matchup was versus the Rams back then.
Yeah, I think, I'm just ready for it. I don't know exactly how it's going to pan out, right? We got Green Bay after. So this is going to be a tough 2 weeks. We'll see how everything kind of, I guess, pans out. But before we hop into our game preview and kind of give our predictions and such, again, we are drinking our coffee. Even Coffee. It's a sponsor that we have and we're very, very proud of. It's a Chicago-based coffee shop. Also supports mental health with every purchase. You can use code BFR for $5 off. And again, it's the single pod serve. So check it out. Even Coffee. We're drinking it like we always do on our morning pods. And they've just been a great partner. If you want more information, it's in the link in our descriptions. You can DM me myself. Also, we have the QR code on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. But yeah, appreciate them and everything they kind of do and what they're for. Hit that like button as well if you're here. And Fick, I think it's time. We want to hop into this thing. It's a big one.
Let's go. It is a big one. Let's get into it. First off, it's a little different than how we normally do our preview shows because the order is the same, but typically we have more information on the injury report. So we're going to get into this. It doesn't really tell us much because, as you know, I think both these teams did a walkthrough yesterday. They didn't even practice. So let's get into the Bears ones first here with the injury report. Starting off, let's talk about the did not participate. So you have TJ Edwards, Ruben Hippolyte, Luke Newman, Dom Robb, Noah Sewell, Tyreek Stevenson. Big ones here. TJ Edwards did not participate again. Will he participate today? Who knows? That's going to be a big factor on if he'll be able to play or not. I doubt Ruben Hippolyte will be playing because he got his shit rocked against Darnell Washington, 311-pound tight end, right, that we talked about, doing that pull on that run. Luke Newman, the backup who went in last game, he ended up getting injured, which kind of sucks because depth on the offensive line is obviously a problem. Dom Robb, concussion, so I don't expect him to play. Noah Sewell, though, could he be a limited participant today? I don't know. We'll have to wait on that. And then also the same with Tyreek Stevenson. So I would say Ruben, probably Luke, and Dom Robb are out. The ones that is like maybe they could play is TJ, Noah, and Tyreek, but we won't know until we see what today looks like. And we probably won't know until Thursday. That'll determine the final, obviously, the clarifications there. Now, looking at the good news, though, Theo Benedict is back. Question is, will he start, with how well Ozzie played? You have Kyler Gordon, full participant. This is his first time being a full. He was limited last week, but he was full for this one. Travis Homer looks like he's back. That'd be a great special team addition. Jalen Johnson is full. He was full last week, but seeing him full on the first one's also fantastic. And then Kyle Monangai is full as well. So I expect all 5 of those players to be playing, and that is great news. Also, it's probably our shortest list for injuries, right? And half of them are full. So we're trending in the right direction. Obviously, it's the NFL, and you're always going to have injuries here and there. But overall, I feel pretty good about that list. How about you, Dave? Any major concerns?
Yeah, can you bring that up for me real quick?
Absolutely.
TJ Edwards at the top of that list. I don't feel good about him playing at all. Obviously, today is Wednesday. We'll get that second injury. Actually, probably the final injury report, right? Tomorrow's Thursday, which is, I guess, technically Saturday if we're talking about a game week.
Yeah. I actually have a question. They practice on Thanksgiving, right?
They have that. You see right there, it says Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, so I think they will.
Maybe a walkthrough or very light practice on Thursday. We'll have to check it.
That's interesting. I'm not sure.
Interesting, yeah. But I don't feel good about Edwards. Hippolyte, yeah, that where he took that hit, it was brutal. Luke Newman, actually, shout out to him. He kind of played okay when Jonah Jackson went down for about, I think it was 9 or 10 snaps. Also, he was one of the guys outside CJ Gardner-Johnson that led into Jalen Ramsey on the sideline on that. And I know it was a legal hit, but Luke Newman came all the way in there and kind of defended 18 for a little bit. So shout out to him. Hopefully he's okay. Again, this is just not nearly as bad. I hate to say that because we're missing some of these guys, but when I first saw this, Fick, I did not think it was awful. And we're used to seeing some of these where it's like, oof.
It's a book. It's pretty bad. Yeah, it looks like a game.
Tyreek Stevenson, that really sucks too. Because if we get those other 2 guys back.
Yeah, we need spider visuals to give us the intel of if Tyreek's going to be playing. So I would love to
keep that light. We got to keep the Eagles guessing.
It's fair. But yeah, that is a big one, right? Because he got injured. Was that the first quarter or second quarter of last game, and then he did not come back. Yeah, so we're gonna definitely need him out there.
Reek's tough though, and he'll be back. He'll be back. He kind of reminds me of DJ Moore. I know he misses a little bit more time than DJ, but as far as that toughness goes, but it does stink because if you get those other 2 back, you're looking at potentially having a really full strength secondary. And then you'd have that conversation with Nashawn Wright and Tyreek, who kind of is playing more at that point, but you don't get to have that conversation or at least have that flexibility, because I think they're both good corners, different types of kind of skill sets, though, in my opinion. So we'll see. I don't think it's a bad overall, it's not a bad injury report at all so far.
We've seen much worse. Absolutely, we've seen much worse. So hopefully it stays like that, because again, we talked about it. You need this team to get healthy and playing their best ball. Well, Ben Johnson said it too, but we need them healthy and playing their best ball come December. So if that list keeps getting shorter and shorter, right, that'd be great. And you got people coming off IR too in 2 weeks. Tremaine will be back. So before the end of the season, if you're truly trying to fight for the playoffs, you might go into the playoffs with your healthiest team to date, which is wild to think about. And that's exactly what you want. Okay, talking about injury reports for the Eagles, let's take a look here. Bears legend Xavier. Oh, no, we had Travis Gibson, not Xavier Gibson. But we're looking at injury report. Yeah, Xavier Gibson, who's out, did not participate. Brandon Graham, that's a big one. Their defensive lineman, groin, he did not participate. Lane Johnson, also a big one. He is out for the game. I think that's already been confirmed that he will not be playing with this foot injury, which he's had for a while. The big one was the last drive of the Cowboys game they played on Sunday was their safety, Andrew Makuba, or that might have been that was their cornerback too, Andrew Makuba. He ended up getting injured, their second round pick from this year. Someone rolled up on his ankle, and so I expect him to be out. The one that's also interesting here is Devonta Smith. I think he did not participate. I expect that he'll probably play though. And then if you're looking at the limited participation, you have Saquon Barkley, you've got Landon Dickerson, and they got Reed Blankenship. I expect all of them to play. And then obviously you can see the ones down with the cornerback, Adoree Jackson, Will Lampkin, and Miles Hinton. They're all full participants. But if you're trying to say which ones are probably not going to play, I'm expecting their CB2, Andrew Makuba. Lane Johnson, their starting left tackle, who's also a beast. He's out, and he's been out. Brandon Graham, that's an interesting one to watch, a veteran defensive lineman who's been solid for them for a while. Wonder if he plays. Right. But I think all their limited participants play. So
I think it's very, very interesting. Keep that on there for a little bit, Vic. Devonta Smith, where he made that incredible catch, kind of like penciled. What's it playing? What's that word for when you like kind of lay out straight, like flat?
Yeah, like a plank. Yeah, like a plank.
Like a plank. Anyways, it's an incredible catch, but he hits his chest and like kind of shoulders really hard on the ground, and he didn't even practice. So he's one to really keep an eye on. Also, I know you're kind of the rookie. Is it safety that went down that you talked about?
I think you're talking about Makuba. I think he's CB2. I think Makuba is there.
Oh, he's not safety. Yeah, that's a big one. He was a second-round pick last year. He's playing pretty well.
Yeah,
the Eagles have some very key guys that you can keep an eye on here. Where I don't know. I thought Landon Dickerson wasn't. Oh man, who's their left tackle? Aren't they missing their left tackle as well?
That's Lane Johnson. He's out though. Yeah, Lane Johnson's out for sure. And Makuba, I think, is their safety. So you're right on that.
Yeah, we're catching some breaks potentially. And here's the thing with the Bears. We've already had like Lamar Jackson. We escaped playing him and we lost. So I'm not going to take any of this, I'm going to take it all with a grain of salt is what I'm trying to say. But man, Devonta Smith would be a big one because I'm more afraid of.
Oh, did I lose him?
Watch I say this.
Oh,
and AJ
no,
Brown goes off.
Such a great point.
But I'm more afraid of Devonta Smith than I am AJ Brown.
Give him a second there. But losing Devonta Smith, I think is what I was going to say. That is huge. So.
Oh, am I gone?
Yeah, you're back now though. It was right when you're saying losing Devonta. So.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying. I'm more afraid of Devonta Smith than AJ Brown. If is what I'm trying to.
Well, he's the better wide receiver so far this year. So
watch AJ Brown go off though. Watch.
I mean that anyone can on this defense.
But that's what I'm saying. If Kyler and Jalen are back though, especially Jalen Johnson.
Yes, for sure.
Playing with that
even both of them.
Nashawn Wright.
The secondary looks so much better with Brisker, Kevin Byard, Jalen Johnson, CJ Gardner-Johnson, and Kyler Gordon. Yeah, I can work with that. Obviously, Tyreek, you'd want him other than McLeod, but we'll have to see with that. If that's the only injury in the secondary, I'll take that compared to the injuries we've been dealing with all season. So good stuff there. Okay, before we get into our team overview and kind of break down what we think of the game, let's go ahead and get to our first ad read here.
First off, thank you for watching the BFR Podcast, the #1 show for the fans
by the fans. If this is your first time here, please like and subscribe, as it just helps our show grow and helps the algorithm get this show out to other awesome, amazing Bear fans like y'all as we're trying to grow this community. If this is your first time, also leave a hashtag New Face Gang in the chat. That's hashtag New Face Gang in the chat, and we'll give you a shout out before the end of the show. And if this is not your first time, this is your second time, you watched over 100 episodes or anything in between, then you are a true OG, and we want to show you some love as well. So please leave a hashtag OG in the chat, and we'll make sure to give you a shout out before the end of the show. Thank y'all for all the support for the number one show for the fans, by the fans, the BFR Podcast. Now let's get back to the show. Absolutely. Appreciate all the support. As always, make sure to leave those comments in there. Love to see the new face gangs in here and obviously the true OGs. So appreciate that. All right, let's get to the team overview. Not as bad as what you think. Look, this team is 8-3, but so are we. And you can see here representative with their 16 footballs to our 13. And just to give kind of like a reference, the Steelers last week, they had 15 footballs and we had 13. So we didn't move at all. We've kind of been the same how we've been all year, like the past at least 8-9 games. Our defense and offense have kind of settled to what they are. Top 10 offense, a defense that's really bend or break and lives off the turnovers, right? But looking at the Eagles, right, the story of the whole season, actually the whole NFL, has been the offensive troubles in Philadelphia and all of the drama that ensues with it, right? And it starts with their passing game. It has not been that great. They have 3 footballs, but it's not that good. I'd say our passing game is better than theirs. AJ Brown's only is on pace right now for having under 1,000 yards. Devontae Smith looks pretty good. But the biggest thing is why their offense was dominant last year is because their run game. Saquon Barkley, as we talked about, almost broke records, went 2,000 plus rushing yards, plus 2,000 scrimmage yards. I mean, the dude went nuts last year, but this year, not even close. Their offensive run game has been so bad from an EPA level, yards per carry. I think Saquon's only averaging 3.7 yards per carry, which is like his 3rd lowest in his career or something like that. It's not great. So overall, they have not been able to develop the run. And a lot of that's been due to they have a new offensive coordinator, Kevin Patullo. So that and Jalen Hurts as well has been missing some passes. So overall, the offense isn't as deadly as what you think. I think when you kind of aggregate them out, they're anywhere from I'd say bottom 10. So they could be anywhere from 20 to 32 in the NFL, right? So they're bottom half when it comes to their offense. Why this team is 8-3 though, is a two words. And we know these words very well here in the city of Chicago. Vic Fangio. The man they brought in last year who resurrected their season and then took them on a Super Bowl playoff run is doing the same thing this year. Their defense has been great. Their pass defense, top 10 in the NFL. Their run defense has been pretty solid, and their pass rush has been fantastic. And we should remember this back when we had Vic Fangio. They're able to get a lot of pass rush without having to blitz. So when you can get pressure and you can, get in front of the quarterback's face and cause chaos without having to send multiple units, right? Multiple players. That means your secondary can sit back there and be in a favorable position. And they have been. So we saw that definitely during the playoffs last year. It's continued and leaked through this year. Their defense is dominant. So it's going to be interesting to see because it's kind of the inverse of what we have. Bears O versus an Eagles D, and then vice versa, the other side. So the goods are going against the greatest parts of these teams, the strengths of these teams are facing off against each other, and then the weaknesses of these teams are facing off against each other. That's
where I think injuries come into play here because our pass defense, I think, is obviously going to be better if you get those 2 guys back. And then on top of that, the Bears offensive line, I will put it up against any defensive line right now. They've won against the Giants. Obviously, Cleveland's coming to town. Green Bay with Micah Parsons, Cleveland with Myles Garrett. So there's some tests there. But I think this one, Jalen Carter, right? It's kind of a problem. But I think just the Bears offensive line, I don't think we've seen one this good. I think it's better than 2018 even too.
Oh, for sure.
And maybe back in Olin Kreutz, Roberto Garza.
Yeah, back then.
2007,
8, 9. Yeah.
But this unit is just kind of unbelievable. And now you factor in Ozzie Trapillo, who had one of the better games last week in his first start. And did you just find your left tackle? Is he ready to go finally? He wasn't ready at training camp. He took it well. Looks like he's obviously improved, a lot more comfortable in the offense. And then you got Theo Benedict, which he didn't play like he it's not really fair to bench him. It's not his fault.
No.
He's actually he's pretty good, an undrafted guy playing at a pretty good level. So it's a really good offensive line is what I'm trying to say. And I saw a comment here and said, I wish we had Jalen Carter.
Oh, this one, Ryan Reeves on Twitter.
And I do too, but I would take, it's funny how this thing flips. Give me Darnell Wright right now. This guy is playing like an all-pro. Vic, do you agree with that?
Well, I've always been the Darnell. I've always been.
Right.
Not to like. It's not like rubbing in. I'm not standing on a soapbox here, but I'm saying I was like, I understand why Poles didn't make the move because of the legal stuff, and I was like, it'd be different if even after last year we were like Darnell Wright sucks, because sometimes that happens. People draft early and get bust. I was like, no, he's like average to above average. Let's see what he can turn out. This year, though, it's been like, oh no, Darnell Wright has really arrived. And now it makes the argument almost sway more to like, oh, I think I would probably, like you almost feel more confident going with Darnell Wright. Either way, both really good players. I think both teams came out on top, which is totally fine. But yeah, this is what you want to see, is hitting on your top 10 guys. And not to, I brought this up on an episode before, but if I'm going to stand on a soapbox about something, it would be about what Ryan Poles has done with his draft classes in the past 2 years, right? Or past, really, it's now you kind of got a lot of data from I'd say round 3 and up. He's done more on hitting than he has on missing. And that's super important because when you hit on the earlier guys, their ceilings are much higher, right? So if you hit on your top 10 guys like a Rome Odunze, a Caleb Williams, a Darnell Wright, those guys have a potential to become all pro, right? What we didn't see with the Ryan Pace era was him hitting on those. Ryan Pace would hit on that guys. Like you'd find your Bo Jackson round 5, your Tyreek Stevensons, right? And Bo Jack went to have an all pro career. So I think it's just finally, it's about time that we actually start hitting on the early guys. And obviously, we still need some years for this draft class, but they look promising. So, I think that's another statement. Yeah,
I think this draft class alone is this one. I think has a chance to go down as an all-timer. You think about Colston Loveland, who's becoming a matchup nightmare. Kyle Monungai, kind of like a Ashton Genty type player, but you get him in the 7th. Are you kidding me? And then Ozzie Trapillo could be your cornerstone left tackle potentially. I know that's early to say. Who else am I forgetting here? Luther Burden,
looking good.
He has like a wide receiver 1 profile, and I think he probably is going to get there. His first step is crazy, and then Fick, help me out here.
It's Shamar Turner. That's the only one where we're like, we don't know, but it's been injury. He's been injured all season.
But he was playing. He was kind of being put everywhere, and he was kind of finding his stop because they were playing him inside, right?
Yeah, play him inside, outside, because he's big. So Dennis
he's kind of becoming like a Swiss Army knife, though, and he was just kind of getting comfortable in that defense.
He just didn't get enough snaps because he got injured, came back, and he got injured again. So that's the only one that's like a major question mark. But still, overall, like I feel good about the talent that was brought in, and that's something to be excited about. So we can look at, because Darnell Wright, people forget. I'm pretty sure that was that Poles' first round pick, right? Because the year he got here, he didn't have a first round pick because of the Fields trade. So that was his first most important pick, and it looks like he got it right. Even if you're like Darnell Wright isn't going to be a top 5 tackle of all time, which is totally fine, right? Mm-hmm. He's a starting solid tackle, and he's the best tackle on this team, best lineman on this team. So I wouldn't. I'm pretty.
I want to share this tweet from the Philadelphia Eagles account, Vic.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to share it. I'm not sure if you had seen it yet.
I have not.
You have not?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So it's right here. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but there's the alliance between the Eagles and
that's funny.
And the Bears, because the Bears have played the NFC East, and of course the Eagles have played the NFC North, and the Bears end up sweeping the NFC East, the Giants, of course, the Commanders, and the Cowboys, and now they play the Eagles. Same thing with the Eagles. They beat Green Bay, they beat the Detroit Lions, they beat the Vikings. So now there's been this huge alliance thing on Twitter where both fan bases have come together. And now you have the Eagles account, like the official account, saying it was fun while it lasted with that picture. And then the Lions ends here. That'd be hilarious if we end up in a tie.
Wouldn't that be funny? I mean, that would
I would
suck,
be a little pissed though. Yeah, because we
course.
need a win here, but I guess it's better than a loss. However, they're getting in the admin team, or the social team for the Philadelphia Eagles are getting in on the fun. You just love this. I wish the Bears would kind of do something here. They did. The Bears did pick. They said basically getting ready, or what was it with C.J. Gardner-Johnson?
I don't know if I saw that one.
Oh, I have it.
Because CJ used to play on the Eagles, didn't he?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
The Bears put the calm before the storm, and it was CJ Gardner-Johnson getting ready, and he played for the Eagles. So some of the fans were like, why do you use CJ? You know, he was actually a big component of that Eagles Super Bowl run. So the Eagles fans are like, no, you know, it felt like a little shot. It is funny, but we'll see what the Bears do here on the social side. But
no, that is funny. That alliance came out of nowhere, but that was hilarious. Hey, thank you for beating those teams that we needed. So we appreciate it, and vice versa. So these hey, look, these teams are winning games, right? You don't become 8-3 without doing that. They sweep the others' division. So
it's Frazier,
yeah, it's going to come down to this. It's going to be a big matchup. So I'm excited to see how it goes.
Me too.
All right, let's see here. Let's get into the key matchups here. So I'll kick it off here. You kind of teased it, Dave, for mine, so you're reading my mind, but I'm going to go Bears O-line versus Eagles D-line. So if we're talking about aggregated statistics here, I think the Bears O-line is 12th in the NFL and the Eagles D-line is 11th. So these are close to fringe top 10 units on both sides, which means you have really good offensive line that the Bears do, and the Eagles have a really good defensive line. So how's it going to pan out, right? First question is, who's starting at left tackle for us? That's going to be interesting, all right? Also, the injuries on their side as well, right, is Brandon Graham going to be playing. But even if he's not, Zach Braun, who's technically not the defensive line, but he definitely gets a lot of pressures and whatnot. He's a linebacker. Got to watch out for him. Obviously, Jalen Carter, you got to watch out for. But who's actually been pretty good this year on the team, now he might lead the team in sacks, is Jordan Davis, who was their former first-round pick years ago. Had some really good seasons, had some iffy seasons, but this year he's playing really well. And I think a lot of their pressures have been from the interior with that combo of Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. So another matchup where it's their strength versus our strength. If you look at our line, I would say our strength is in the interior with Dahlman, Tooney, and Jonah Jackson. And Wright's been great. Don't get me wrong. But when you're talking about him
and Jonah on that right side, dude.
For running, for sure. But I think that interior has been playing together for so long, they've done a pretty good job. So it's going to be interesting to see how they hold up.
You could put it up there as it's probably the best unit in the NFL interior. For sure. You got Joe Tooney, Hall of Famer. I mean, this guy is just. Did you see when I went through his stats over his first 11 games in Chicago?
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, kind of crazy.
741 snaps, Fick. 0 sacks allowed. 1 QB hit. 99.0 pass blocking efficiency through his first 11 games in Chicago.
Yeah,
he has 1 penalty, and it wasn't even on him, and it was a net yards of 1. This guy, anyways,
fourth rounder.
Interior offensive, the interior line for Chicago on the offensive side, I would put it against anybody in this league. And now that you have Ozzie potentially as a cornerstone, and of course we already know how we feel about Darnell Wright.
Yep,
this is, like I said, one of the best old lines we've ever seen in Chicago.
I would agree.
And perfect timing, right? When you have a guy like Caleb. So,
yep.
Anyways, I like that one, but
they're
going to get theirs. It's similar to TJ Watt, where Caleb's going to have to know where you can't get away with some of this stuff, and you're going to have to be careful here. You're checked down.
Actually,
let's see.
Something I'm going to talk about when we get to the keys of the game.
You don't even send these to me.
Yeah, I know. You're already ahead of it. I love it. But let's get to the your matchup here.
Yeah, Ben Johnson versus Vic Fangio. He's still the DC, right?
Yes, he is.
I was actually shocked when I saw that. I miss Vic. 2018 will always be special, but this is where I think, obviously, the players are going to have to play and make the plays and where they are. But I think Vic Fangio versus Ben Johnson. I'm excited about this matchup. It's similar to Brian Flores and and Ben. But right now, I think obviously both teams have quarterbacks. We're not dealing with JJ McCarthy here. It's Caleb, Jalen. But I want to see what Vic dials up, and I want to see how Ben adjusts. I think there's going to be a moment in this game where we're going to find out, like, if Ben, I'm not going to some grandiose statement, but we're going to see exactly how quick Ben can kind of
adapt,
pivot.
Yeah.
And I think he's ready for it. He's shown it in Detroit and even through 11 games in Chicago. I just think this is going to be a moment, either whether it's halftime where things might not be working. Obviously, I think the first drive or two might be fine, those scripted plays, but Vic's going to figure it out. And it's going to be a battle of the minds, man. It's going to get a little sick in regards to how both of these both of these guys kind of, like I said, pivot throughout the game, because Vic he's so good. He's so good. And he's going to be able to adjust, and it's going to make it very difficult on Caleb at times. Ben, he's made it so easy sometimes for Caleb Williams, where he's dialing up stuff, and sure, Caleb might miss here and there. The accuracy kind of has been kind of sporadic, but I'm excited to see how both of these guys throughout this game kind of battle each other. And of course, I hope we come out on top, but I think this is where you're just excited to see an offensive mind and a defensive mind go at it like this. And top then the Eagles head coach, Sirianni, right? Nick Sirianni.
Yep.
He's not bad either, man, in regards to my Siri just went off because it said serious. Anyways.
I mean, look, Sirianni is a great coach. Been to 2 Super Bowls or 3 Super Bowls. Dude, two? Been to 1?
He's been on the hot seat occasionally too.
He was on the hot seat last year.
And then won the Super Bowl.
They won the Super Bowl. Yeah. It's crazy how fickle the NFL is, man. It's like, yeah, literally on the hot seat again last year.
I just remember, like, I'll throw on like ESPN or sports, you hear those takes, and it's like, I remember, like, at one point this guy was like, they wanted him out of Philly. It felt like, and then all of a sudden he wins a Super Bowl, and you're like, well, that's not going to happen.
Which is crazy because he's still the most winningest coach. Like, to start his career, there's been no coach that's won more games than he has, which is wild.
But that's the city. I would say Philly's similar to Chicago, but
for sure.
I don't know if they're more ruthless, but at times they can be in regards.
I'd say they are, because they have more. Yeah, their expectations are crazy because they've won another.
We'll get there,
and it's like, calm down. But yeah, we will at some point.
I know,
but hey,
it's Steelers fans something. Kind of. What were you saying?
No, I was to say it's funny though, because they have like the same chaos as us, but just a lot more success. So you're like, hey, maybe pump the brakes a little bit. But so
I saw the. I'm muted. I saw Steelers fans kind of going crazy, and falling out after they lost to the Bears last week, and they're going after Tomlin. And I'm like, I get it. Tomlin has kind of been mediocre, winning season after winning season, but it's not like they haven't produced like. In the playoffs, they haven't produced like big seasons since Ben Roethlisberger.
I don't think they've won a
kind of left
town in like 15 years or 10 years.
I get that.
Yeah.
But it's like he's actually still really, really good. It's like, but they are fed up, man. Like they're calling him like, and they said it was kind of weird to hear like he got out coached and that Ben Johnson's a better head coach than him right now. And it's like hearing that, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're talking about a Bears head coach versus Mike Tomlin. And it's kind of surreal.
We would have prayed for Mike Tomlin. It was like 2 seasons.
I think Mike Tomlin, some of his answers, dude, he's just one of the best like head coaches to listen to in a presser. I think one of the guys was talking about, they asked him a question after the game, talked about, he ran cover 3 and then the Bears ran verticals, right? 4 verts. And that was the DJ Moore touchdown.
Yep.
And he's basically like talking coverages with Tomlin. And asked him why he did that. First of all, like the NFL, like if he would have known 4 verts was coming, I don't think he probably would have ran cover 3.
No, because it beats it.
But you're not able to see that, right? This isn't Madden, whatever.
Right.
And he was just like, hey, I appreciate that question. I'm not going to get into coverage with you, but the value or like he was like, basically, I appreciate you talking coverages. I just can't get into that with you. But I'm impressed with that question. Yeah. And Tomlin, Tomlin.
I'm sure he'd rather hear that. I'm sure he'd rather, or any coach would rather hear questions like that than some of the questions they'd be getting. So,
yeah.
But I think you make a good point though. The grass isn't always greener on the other side, as we would know. So when you look at teams like us and we're like, dude, we would have prayed for 10 years of mediocrity, like even average, like, oh, you made the playoffs. We made the playoffs once in 2 decades. Or twice in 2 decades. So, yeah, I feel that. But it is funny how that is. It's always perspective, man. It's always perspective. If you're used to winning, you want to keep winning. If you've never lost, you're just trying to get a little win here and there. And so Ben Johnson's kind of flipped it though, right? If we thought, hey, look, we were supposed to go from level 1 to level 2, I would say he went from level 1 to level 3. Like we kind of skipped that. Oh, we're going to be in that middle area. A lot of football left to play still. But as we are right now, it's like, dude, we're second in the NFC. Okay. Yeah, you've definitely came in here and turned things around quick. 1-8 of the last 9. Never seen that in my lifetime. So shout out to him. But how are they going to continue the win streak here? We'll get to that here in a second as we go to our second ad break, but we're going to then go to our key matchups and then continue on the show. All right, we're going to get back to the episode real quick, but I had to take a moment to pause and tell you about something awesome that we have cooking up over here at the BFR Podcast, and that is our Patreon membership. You can join our Patreon, the BFR Den, where we have a bunch of great exclusive stuff that happens monthly, like monthly giveaways, private Zoom calls, mailbag episodes, and much, much more to come. I mean, we've got tons of features in there. We've got 2 tiers. We have our top tier, which is $10 a month, our Hall of Fame tier. What comes with that, which is very exclusive, is our private Zoom calls with our members. So every month, you're going to get a private Zoom call with me, Dave, and Jack, and we just get to talk about whatever, shoot the shit, football, life. It's a wonderful time. And then if you want to go to the lower level, we have our Rookie Grizzly tier, which is $3 a month. And what that includes is like the private Discords, the monthly giveaways, the free merch, all the events if we have coming up, things like that, access to exclusive merch that's only for our Patreon members, and any other cool features. You'll get that at the $3 level tier. And then with the $10 level tier, you will get the private Zoom call as well. Now, you can join for free. We do post our monthly calendars in there, so you can kind of see what we have going on each month. And we post our episodes there as well. So if you want to join that ongoing community, which we keep building up, please do so at the BFR Den on Patreon. Also, as well, we give a shout out to all of our Patreon members every single episode that we do. So if you join, we'll make sure to show you some love on every episode as well. So again, you can join the BFR Den on Patreon at the BFR Den on Patreon. And we just love the support. You guys are great. Shout out to all our Patreon members, and let's get back to the show. Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. All right. Oh, yeah. Like we said in the little ad read there, we do have the Patreon call this week. So if you want to get in before, you still got a chance. I believe it's this Sunday. So exciting time. We love doing that with all of our Patreon members. You guys are fire. So with these, all of our Hall of Fame Grizzly members. All right, now let's get to the key matchups here. Dave, you already teased mine again, of course, which I love to see here. But let's see what I have cooked up here for the keys to the game. All right, starting it off here. This one's huge. Establish play action shots. Now, we talk about the run game. It's been really good. But why I say play action here is because the Eagles' defense is dead last. That's right, dead last against the play action. They are 32nd in the league on play action plays. And as we know, Ben Johnson loves play action. That's where he gets a lot of his explosive plays. He loves establishing the run early, setting it up. Let's continue that. I think we can really dice them up. And now with Andrew Makuba, their safety out, maybe there's an opportunity to even dice them up more with the explosive playoff play action. So I'm excited to see that. This is the one you kind of led to, Dave, where you're talking about, Caleb and his escapability. Well, the Eagles are strong with their defensive line interior pressure. But what they've actually been bad at is QB scrambles. Again, great defense, but they are dead last in the NFL on QB scrambles. So there might be some opportunity where you should use Caleb's legs more, right? I'm not saying you have to necessarily do designated run QB powers like we saw, or like the fake counter lead that we saw on 4th down, but Caleb might need to be aware that, hey, you can probably bail the pocket, if needed to, because a lot of their best linemen are in the interior and you're going to be able to outrun them. So just something to think about there. And then this one is kind of inverse looking. We got to flip sides here. Do not blitz Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts against the blitz this season is top 5. There's weeks where he's been first. There was a span of 3 weeks where he was the first in the NFL against the blitz, just dialing it up. I think there was a 3-game stretch where he had like 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions when he was blitzed. So, hey, DA, I know you've been blitzing a lot, and I know you kind of had to because you didn't have the backup pieces and you couldn't get the pressure. I don't know if this is the week to do it. I'm just saying the data would say otherwise. So I would say, hey, let's not blitz the best. It's kind of like when you blitz Aaron Rodgers, right? Or even Jordan Love. They're great against the blitz. So sometimes you just got to hope you can get pressure there. And maybe you can with Lane Johnson being out and Montez finally getting into his groove, maybe there's an opportunity there with Montez and Booker and Javon that they can get some pressure and you don't need to blitz as much. But those are my keys to the game.
I want to bring up Caleb Williams and using his legs more, because I was asked that question. I forgot what platform. It was just a comment, and I kind of was like, yeah, I do, but at the same time, I'm a little worried that you look at like Jackson Dart, some of these guys that just run more. Justin Fields, I know he doesn't get injured as much, but I like what the Bears are doing with Caleb though. Last week against the Steelers, it was 4th and 1, and they called a QB run. I did not expect that, because Caleb, they really just make it. He basically Ben puts it on his arm. Very rarely do we see Caleb get a designed run. It's more of those scrambles that he, turns into 10, 15-yard chunks. But that designed run came out of nowhere. And it reminds me of like even Kevin O'Connell, who's one of the better play callers too, in week 1 against Chicago, where they called that QB run late in the game in the 4th. McCarthy ended up scoring, but nobody expected that. And so Caleb, I think the unique thing with him is, yes, you could run it with him, and it would probably be successful. But I think it's even better when they don't utilize that QB run game, because it's so shocking, and the defense truly is not prepared for it.
Right.
Because they're worried about Rome. They're worried about Luther Burden. Cole Kmet. Colston Lovin, really, as of late. His last 5 games he's just been on an absolute tear. But what I'm trying to kind of say is I kind of like that they don't really run 5, 6 QB runs a game. It's more.
I don't want them to either.
No,
I don't want to put him in injury.
Sustainable.
It's not sustainable. No.
And I think, but with the way that they use it right now, where I think when we get later into the year, where you see it with Patrick Mahomes, where when you get to really these final 6 games, the playoffs, where you'll see Mahomes start to run more, and they utilize some of these runs packages in Kansas City, because there's not much, like, this is it. Like, it's do or die, right? Especially for the Chiefs, but even the Bears only have a 1-game lead, where it's like you're trying to get to the playoffs. We might see Caleb do a little bit more with his legs, and maybe Ben utilize it a little bit more, be more aggressive. But I like that 4th and 1 last week, where I thought for sure it was going to be maybe even a handoff, right? It was a
fake inside zone that turned into a QB counter, which was huge.
DeAndre Swift blocks his ass off, and then of course we get the Jalen Ramsey push, and CJ Gardner Johnson, grabs his jersey and wants all the smoke. So I just love the way they're utilizing it, and I think it's perfect, because you don't want to have too much of it right now, and you can't because of the sustainability factor. It's just not possible in this league. You're going to get popped, and Caleb has already been hit a few times, right?
For sure.
Get out of bounds, slide a little bit better, a little bit sooner. But I think the way they use it right now, and what they might do against Philly, is we might see maybe 2 or 3 this game, because they might not even be prepared for it.
Yeah, I agree. Look, I don't
long story short.
No, that's fair. I don't want designated QB runs. I want Caleb to know that he has the ability to escape which he already knows, right? But like, this defense is even more susceptible to it. So if you need to break out of the pocket, do what you need to do. You don't see what it is, go ahead and get 3-4 yards, slide.
One of my
on to the next play.
One of my favorite quotes, I cannot remember the week this year that he said it. It was after the game, and he was asked about kind of running. He had 56, 60 yards, and he was like, yeah, that's great and all, but like, I'm a quarterback. And I'm paraphrasing heavily here. I'll go back and find it. But he was like, to run, throw it like that.
Right.
And obviously, this may have been in the offseason.
That was last year, I think. It wasn't this year, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay. He had said that, and I'm like, I love that mentality. So, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I forgot the Eagles lost to the Giants too. They lost to the Cowboys, who the Bears absolutely blew out. Now the Cowboys are definitely a beatable
team. We'll get to that, but they're definitely a beatable team.
In Philly, though, that's the tough part.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
Playing in Philly is always difficult.
Well, if they're gonna do it, they're gonna have to do these keys to the game. So let's see what you have here, Dave, to see what they need to win the game.
Yeah. I feel like I kind of just recycle some of these keys to the game, but it's just so important for this Bears team to win the turnover battle. I think they have an opportunity here with getting some guys back, but just really Nashawn Wright. You can almost count on him for a big play, really like an interception every single game, it feels like. So I think winning the turnover battle is going to be crucial. And then secondly, you get to a hot start. I think getting up 13-0, 10-0 is going to be so crucial for this game. You're playing away in Philadelphia. you have to play like you have to play fast. You have to get off to a good start. You can't really go. I don't think you can afford to go behind against this team. Obviously, we saw the Cowboys do it last week. They're down 21-0, and the Bears have become, that comeback team. But let's just get to a hot start. That's what I want to see, and then run it down their throats. I think that we talked about the interior, Fick. You mentioned how good this line's playing. I think you have the ability here. You're on the road. Control the ball. Keep Jalen Hurts in that offense off the field. Saquon Barkley, keep him off the field and just run it down. Like we saw early on the year, what it was like, I think one drive where they called 11 run plays in a row.
Yeah.
The Bears offensive line can move people. And I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be missing some key players. I think obviously there's the factor here where I think the Bears O-line can just get the better of the defensive line, especially at the end of the game. If you continue to run early on, you start and you establish it early in that late third, fourth quarter, they're going to be tired. They're going to be gassed. That's where I feel like this team can run it down and kind of just take command of this game. And I think it's going to be close. So I think the run game is going to be crucial and really just kind of maybe finishing up, putting the finishing touches, as far as ending the game. Say it's like 3-4 minutes left. You need a drive here. You need a couple first downs. Keep the ball running, keep the clock going, run. So I think that's going to be crucial. Not saying that Caleb's not going to have a good game. He's going to have to put the ball in play. He's going to have to be accurate, but I just would love to see these guys just be able to run and establish it early.
Look, when they ran the ball well, they've won games. So there's some sort of correlation there. Ben Johnson loves
last week,
the ball, so
didn't run it that great, and they still won. They're finding ways, man.
Finding ways. That is true. All right. Well, let's get to our bold takes here, which finally got one. I got one. Dave, you didn't, unfortunately, but you're 3-8, only one game back. I'm 4-7. I think your bold take which is good. It didn't hit, but Caleb Williams' interception last week, he did not have one. He did have a fumble.
Hey,
luckily that didn't hit. There it is. We'll take that. And then I think mine was 2 turnovers for the defense. Shouts to Nashawn Wright because you're the reason for that, and they did have 2. So let's get to my bold take here. First off, I kind of doing what you did last week, but I'm not sure if it's going to be an interception. I'm thinking there might be a strip sack here. Caleb hasn't had one other than last week, but he really has been really good with the ball. I think there's going to be Caleb Williams that's not English. Caleb Williams will have a turnover of some sort. Unfortunately, I think he's just due another one. Because, he just has not turned the ball over. And maybe I'm wrong, and that's totally fine. But I feel like there's probably something in the cards. Let's see what yours is here.
Yeah, my bold takes this year, it's a tough record. But I have 160-plus rushing yards against this Philadelphia Eagles team. I think that's bold, right?
Yeah, I think I've done that one before. I think
that includes Caleb.
70. Yeah, I think that's bold.
So, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Look, they're bold for a reason. If you're freaking 8-2 on your bold takes and your takes aren't bold, so it got to be hard to hit. So I have no problem with that. Again, it's one game difference between us two. It should be interesting. But the one we've been pretty good on, score predictions. So let's go into that. That's a much.
You're better than I.
Only because of last week. Last week was a big one because you predicted them to lose. I predicted them to win. But you had a nail biter by 1 point. So you're 6-5. That was your first loss in I want to say 4 or 5 weeks. I'm 8-3. But I will say we do have different score predictions this week. So someone is going to get an edge. So it should be interesting. So to kick it off, I guess I'll go first. We'll do bad news Bears here. Mm-hmm. I'm going Eagles 20, Bears 17. Now, let me tell you, I say that lightly. Do I think this team has the ability to beat the Eagles? Absolutely. Do I have the most confidence in this team compared to any Bears team to beat a team like the Eagles? Absolutely. But for some reason, I just feel like the Eagles are probably not going to lose back-to-back games. The Eagles normally don't lose back-to-back games. And the fact that they lost against the Cowboys almost made my stomach sick. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd rather them coming in high and then we come out of nowhere, surprise them, and punch them in the mouth. Again, it can still happen because we talked about it. This football team, the Eagles are 8-3, but this isn't some powerhouse team, right? They have a lot of flaws. They have injuries. The offense is not humming like it needs to be. So there is an opportunity to beat them here. I just don't know if I've seen the Eagles. They have lost back-to-back, but it doesn't happen often. They're at home as well. So it's going to be a very tough task to do. Can it be done? Yes, but I got to kind of go with the Eagles here, 20-17. But I don't think it's a blowout in any sort of way.
It's how I felt last week. I picked the Steelers to win. I just wasn't. I thought Rodgers was playing too,
right?
So that was a big part of it. However, I picked them to lose, and this week I kind of went different. Vic, I couldn't do it again.
Let's see it.
I feel like the Bears are probably going to lose this game, but I could not pick against them this week. I think that there's just an opportunity here to kind of shock the NFL. Make a statement. This is like a statement type win for Ben Johnson. We've had a lot of wins this year, but if you go into the defending champs in Philly and win, and then you move to 9-3, that says a lot about you, and it says a lot about this team. And I think it'll put like a very. It's already kind of, the Bears already have a national kind of reach. They're under that microscope, but this would be like how can I put it?
This would be the national media talk, like all week would be talking about this game, I think is what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
right?
the Bears would be jolted into that, probably contender, and whether they deserve it or not. If you beat a contender, you get that. I think that's fair to be put in that atmosphere or that elite tier status. So the Bears have an opportunity here. I think they're going to score points. This team, I mean, I don't know where they're at. Are they like top 5 in points per game?
Top 10. The Bears?
Yeah,
top 10. They're top 10.
I almost think they're top 5. Category.
They might be, yeah. I know at least they're top 10.
Yeah.
Top 10 in rushing, top 10 in points per game, top 5 in explosive plays, top 5 in yards per reception. So overall, they've got a lot of favorable metrics that say that they're.
So the Bears are averaging 26.3 points per game. That is 8th in the NFL.
Yep.
It's their yards per game though. Their average rushing yard, they're 2nd in the NFL at 142 yards per game. They have their passing is almost top 10, but their total yards are top 10 too.
They're
This team
good offense. It's a good offense.
Yeah, I think. Anyways, my score prediction 26-23. For those that watching or listening on Spotify, Apple, I think they're going to score points here. I think it's just part of their MO. It's part of their team. They just score. They kind of do it in chunks though, right? They might have a third quarter like last week where you back-to-back touchdown drives, and so I think the Bears win this one in a close one, like we've kind of been accustomed to. But like you said, I could also see this being a really tough loss, like a 14-point loss or something like that, because I think there is there's a factor in here where you're playing in Philly, tough place to go. The champs are the champs, and the Eagles are weird. Sometimes they look dominant, like last week against Philadelphia or against the Cowboys, where they're up 21-0. They just didn't finish the job.
Right.
I think they have that ability where they can just throw a couple punches that are like heavyweight, like haymakers. And we'll see if the Bears can respond. But I'm excited about this one, man. National stage, standalone game on Friday. I'm not a fan of the 3:00 start. Is that 3 o'clock?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's 3 my time, I think. Is it 2 years? I'm not even sure.
Central time. I think they play at 3 Central.
Okay, then maybe 4 mine. Yeah, but still, that's not great. It's a weird time. This is the second Black Friday game, right? Last year was the first one? Or was this?
I like the Friday game. I do, for sure.
The timing's weird. The timing is.
Yeah, they play at 3:20 or 2 o'clock. Yeah, 2 o'clock.
Yeah, so it's Friday. 3 my time. So it's even earlier your time. 2 o'clock is weird. It's a weird time. But
yeah,
it is what it is. There's obviously a reason they did that. Maybe NBA games or something. They're trying to fit it in. I don't know. But
they don't care about no NBA games.
Yeah,
NFL's
that's true. They knock them out of the league. That is true. Yeah, they took over Christmas now. So that's definitely true.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention though, this game, we didn't really go to I forgot to add in the fucking Vegas odds. Jeez, act like I've run my own show before. But I do want to go over these quick. The Vegas is obviously favoring Philly as well with +7 for Chicago. I think it's one of our biggest margins, right? Money line. I mean, our biggest odds against us all season. Over under 45.5. That's kind of fair. Mine would be under that. Yours is right slightly over, and then money line would be plus Chicago.
Yeah, that spread is +7.
Spread. Thank you. I
Crazy.
couldn't think of the name. Spread. Yeah. It would probably be like a +3.5 if it was home in Chicago, which is not as bad. But yeah, +7 is pretty big. So I'm not betting any of those. We never bet any of those. None of those look favorable to me.
Don't bet the Bears.
Don't bet the Bears.
Not yet.
Yeah, that should be an interesting one. Okay, awesome. So before we get to the headlines and our shout outs, let's get to our final ad read, and then we'll end the show here shortly. Appreciate all of y'all being here as always. All right, before we close out the show, I got to tell you about some awesome stuff that we have cooked up on the BFRstore.com. As you can see here, we have hats, hoodies, mugs, stickers, a whole bunch of fire stuff, and we're always working on new creative designs. Maybe jerseys coming. Who knows? But you can check it all out at thebfrstore.com. All the proceeds from the merch store just goes back right into the show. And plus, we want to give you fire stuff because we want to look fly all the time. And we want y'all to look fly as well. So if you want to support the BFR show, go to thebfrstore.com. We appreciate all the love and support. Now let's get back to the show. Yes, appreciate it. No, it's getting cold. We got some fire merch. You can go to the link in the description, as long as our Patreon or Discord's in there as well. So appreciate all the support. All the proceeds from the BFR store go right back into the show to make this better for y'all, because this is the #1 show for the fans, by the fans. And so we want to make sure that we give you fans all the value that we possibly can. And we appreciate all of you that are part of the BFR family, especially during the holiday season. Okay, let's get to the headlines here. I think I got a pun. Finally, Monday headlines here, even though technically it'll be Saturday headlines. But no turkey, no problem. Bears get cooked, which is kind of dark when you think about it. Please don't cook up Bears for Thanksgiving. But that is, I just think the Bears don't come out on top. But I promise you, I will be happy to be more than wrong. To be more than wrong. Please prove me wrong. I am totally okay with it. But I don't see them winning this one just yet. But if they do, fantastic. Come at me in the comments on Twitter, all that shit. Let's get to yours.
Yeah, no fly zone. I think this is just simply if JJ, Kyler, Nashawn Wright are back, or not Nashawn Wright, but those other two corners are back. I think the Bears they're a turnover team. I think we get. I would say at minimum, if they win this game, they're probably getting at least 2 interceptions on Jalen Hurts. So that's why I went with the no-fly zone. I thought that's pretty good, especially.
No, it is because fly eagle
on top,
especially since there's
fly eagles fly.
Fly eagles fly. So yeah, no fly zone would be good because you're also, like you said, JJ and
more so Nashawn Wright. I think Kyler. These guys just create turnovers, man. There's. I wish we had Edmonds and Edwards. I'd feel a lot better with those guys in the middle.
I wonder if Nashawn Wright's going to follow AJ Brown. Because, like, height-wise, size-wise, that's the guy to follow, not the 6-foot Devontae Smith, right? You want to follow the 6'2", 240, 50 pounds, whatever, how big A.J. Brown is. He's a better matchup on that, like he did on his pick. Was that DK?
I'm curious to see if Philly – it was against DK Metcalf. I'm curious to see if Jalen Hurts tests Nashawn Wright. Like, I don't know why you want to keep throwing this guy jump balls, but when you have a guy like A.J. Brown, you kind of trust your guy to outperform the other DB, and I think that's a hell of a matchup and it's a risk because Nashawn he's balling out in regards to jump balls. We see it time and time again where he's just that 6'4", he's got the length, the wingspan. You don't want to really test him, at least in his form right now. So I hope they do because I'll take our guy.
I'll take it, please. He's been killer against the jump ball. I say, why not? And they've been trying to feed A.J. Brown because of the fiasco and the drama. They've been trying to feed him early. So maybe he tests him early and Nashawn comes out on top. We'll have to see. Yeah. There's a lot of storylines.
My hat, guys, it's on Fanatics. I have no idea where this link is, but I tweeted the link a long time ago. Got it before the season. It is on Fanatics, though. They have a similar one that Big Cat wears. It's a Cubs hat.
I've seen that one.
Very similar to this with the green. But it should be a DM if you want on Twitter. I'll get you that link.
Absolutely. Promise. Yeah, no, I feel like you get a comment about that hat like at least every time you wear it. So
I
appreciate all the comments. Appreciate all of the comments. We really do appreciate all of y'all being here.
Yep.
All right, well, that is this show. Look, Dave and I both feel like this team, it can go either way. This team is definitely good enough to beat the Eagles. But at the end of the day, you're playing the Eagles. They are flawed, but they do find ways to win. But they also lose to the Cowboys. So there's a lot of interesting scenarios that can happen from this team. But like we do on all of our shows, we're going to go ahead and make sure we give a love to all of y'all for being here on what is today? Tuesday, Wednesday morning before Thanksgiving. Normally we don't do shows on a Wednesday morning, so I was a little confused. But we appreciate all of y'all being here because, again, this is the Bears Film Room Podcast, which is the #1 show for the fans, by the fans. Dave and I are fans like y'all. We go through the ups and downs, everything in between. We've dealt with the pain, the trauma scars, all of that. And so we want to build a community here at BFR that really puts you guys first and forward, and that's what we're doing here. So we, again, appreciate you being here, being at the #1 show for the fans, by the fans, Bears Film Room. And as we do on all of our shows, we're going to give a shout out to our OGs. If you want to throw them in real quick into the chat, or if this is your first time watching any new face gangs, we'll go ahead and give you a shout out here. But we want to give a shout out to Austin on YouTube. Said, hell yeah, boys, bear down. Big one coming. #OG. Appreciate that, Austin. Plastic Rockets with the #OG. Watching this at work. LOL. Love that for you. No rest for the wicked. And then we got Cody on YouTube as well. Says, if we come away with a dub, does everyone finally shut up and take us serious? #OG bear down. I feel like they wouldn't have a choice. You kind of have to. Let's see if we have any other ones. We do have this one here for Damon Dice on YouTube. Thank you, Damon. Said, great show, guys. Appreciate that. We got Reg, 18 Chi-Town. Said, bear down. I'll follow. Thank you, Reg. I don't know if this is your first time, but really do appreciate the follow. Again, we're trying to build this community up, man. Like, we want to put you guys first, because without y'all, this show is nothing. And so we want to make sure that we give you guys all the value we possibly can. And then we got DG here as well, who had a blast. Bear down. Have a great Thanksgiving. Absolutely. Let's have a great Thanksgiving. All right. Not only that, I want to give a shout out to our Hall of Fame Grizzly members, our Patreon members, as always. And again, if you want to join the Patreon, you can in the link in the description. But shout out to Michael from across the pond. We got Gage. We got Philip. We got the other Michael, Angie, Daniel, Thomas, Tito, Dave, and our newest Hall of Fame Grizzly member who frequently sends in his voicemail. Shout out to you, Jerome from Darien. Welcome to the Den, which is the name of our Patreon. So shout out to our Hall of Fame Grizzly members. And we're going to be excited to see all of y'all next Sunday for our weekly call. And then shout out to our rookie Grizzlies as well. Alex, Chris, Ethan, Caleb, Jason, and our newest rookie Grizzly member, Megan, as well. Shout out to all of y'all. And I do want to say, we do have our giveaways coming up, merch stuff coming up at the end of the month. Typically, that's when we get a lot of our stuff drops. So stay tuned. A lot of free shit. I know you guys love that. So we're excited to get that out to all of you Patreon members. And then not only do we have a Patreon, you can't join that for free, but our main tiers is where you get the value. But if you want to join a free, another free platform, we have Discord, where we have a bunch of free giveaways on there. Stuff to our stores. We have a whole bunch of contests. Obviously, Dave and I are in there talking with y'all. Special access for our Patreon members. I mean, like, we have so many things in there, and we just love chatting it up with y'all and trying to make it like a real dope ass community in there. So we appreciate all of y'all being there. But what we do for every show is we give a shout out to our Discord weekly contest winner, which is our score prediction winner. So we got to give a shout out this week to Pearl Deck Nibber, which I actually think this is his second time winning. So he's already won 2 gift cards to the BFR merch store. Wow. What a roll off the tongue there. My bad on that one. But shout out to him and our Discord winner there. And then the final one here is for the jersey giveaway that I had for this week, since the Bears keep winning. So I had to give a shout out to 312 Blitz.
Heck yeah.
On the jersey giveaway. I will make sure to hit you up on Twitter, and I'll post that after this. But shout out to you. Thank you for participating in that. Woo! I feel like that ad read's always like the final promotions there always take all the breath and energy out of me. But one last time, final plug. You can find our Discord, Patreon, merch store, link in the descriptions. Discord's free to join. Patreon's free to join. We have our $3 tier, $10 tier. If you want to get access to our to our monthly call that's coming next week, you still have time to do that in there. And if you just want to join the Discord for fun, we have a bunch of cool shit on there. Please do that. If you want to buy some fire merch for you or your family, you can go to BFRstore.com. And again, we want to give a shout to every single one of you podcast listeners watching on YouTube. If you watch later, if you just follow us on Twitter, whatever it is, we appreciate all of y'all, because again, we want to put you guys first, because it's the Bears Film Room Podcast, the #1 show for the fans, by the fans. And we appreciate every single one of y'all. So make sure you like and subscribe as well. Appreciate the love and support. Back to you, Dave.
Yeah, not much to say. Appreciate the support. We're almost at, I think, 12,000 subscribers, which is kind of unreal. So if you can, hit that sub button, hit that like button if you're watching on YouTube. Also, Follow me on TikTok. I've been posting more consistently over there. You guys have shown a lot of love over there. Very fun platform. Also, the BFR pod is on TikTok as well. If you guys haven't known, that's been there for a while, doing well. And of course, just follow Ficky, all of us on all our socials. And on top of that, I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy this one. Enjoy Thursday.
Final question I forgot to think about because you brought up Thanksgiving. Who are you rooting for? Who's the hate watch tomorrow? Are we going Lions?
I
Or
don't
are we
even know
going
the
Packers?
games.
No, I'm saying Lions.
The Lions and Packers are playing each other?
Yes.
Oh, fuck the Packers.
Right, but I'm saying, would it make more sense for the Lions to lose from a record standpoint? Because then now they're both in that same area. You know what I mean?
Aren't the Packers ahead?
No, I think the Lions are now. So I think it's Bears, Lions, Packers. I think Packers are 6-4-1, and Lions are 7.
No, Packers are 7-3-1. Lions are 7-4 because of that tie. So,
okay. So
it really doesn't matter. If the Packers win, they'll be right where they are, and then if the Lions win, they'll be up 1.
So we want Lions.
Yeah, I don't like Green Bay.
No, that's fair. I was trying to figure out from a standing. I had it reversed, so I thought, it'd make more sense for the Packers to win. But
it's really just like, I mean, if the Lions lose, and we win, we'll be 2 games ahead.
Yeah,
and then vice versa. If the Packers win, or if the Lions win, the Packers lose, I think it would still be 1
game and a half.
Game ahead, yeah, game and a half because that tie. It's a little weird.
Maybe they can tie again. Fuck it, right? Let's just let's have the Packers have 2 ties, which equals a loss, and
tie again. And Jordan Love looks awful.
I'll take it. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. So perfect.
Absolutely.
All right, any final words?
Nope. Again, check out Even Coffee. Love their coffee. Single serve pod. Use code BFR. You can see the link in the descriptions. You can DM me personally. I'll tell you more about it. But shout out to them. Supporting Chicago, supporting mental health. Cannot say much anything better about them. So again, appreciate their partnership. Check them out, and also enjoy your Thanksgiving. And we'll see you Friday right after the game for our instant reactions. Bear down.
Peace.